If you're heading out tonight, I think I mentioned this at 5:30, if you value your umbrella, you'll leave it closed because it's very windy out there, and the rain's going to be picking up in coverage and intensity a little bit for several hours this evening, so we'll call it a wet, gusty evening. Not an all-night rain, though, if you're going to be out way late, and you shouldn't be on a Monday night. It dries out after about 1 in the morning. And then later this week, we get maybe a little bit of lake effect later tomorrow and tomorrow night, but later this week, more significant lake effect could be setting up for at least a portion of western New York. New Year's Eve, maybe a little iffy. Not frigid like we've had in so many New Year's Eves, but there may be a little bit of a mix out there. The camera is shaken in the wind. 53, that is our high for the day. The sustained wind at 23. There are gusts well over 30 and some gusts well over 40 around Dunkirk, Fredonia. A little snow in the forecast for later tomorrow and tomorrow night, and this model may actually be overdoing pretty sparse amounts, less than an inch at Buffalo. I think maybe a coating on the Niagara frontier, but on the hills, some of the hills could pick up a couple of inches tomorrow night. Last night on Christmas, at this time, we're 23 degrees colder yesterday. Quite the change. And as I mentioned earlier, temperatures are well into the 60s in Cleveland. Cold front just having cleared Detroit. The air behind it, seasonably chilly. The really cold air, way up to the northwest, will not get here. So we're just heading back to about where we should be. In fact, we'll still be above average tomorrow. Rain coverage right now in Super Doppler 7 is sparse. It will increase as the evening goes along. Maybe even a rumble of thunder come 10 or 11 o'clock ahead of that cold front. Look at these temperatures. Downslope wind, a wind that heats up as it descends from the southern tier slopes to the lake plain. So we're in the 50s, but then when we swing to the south and southeast, the downslope wind does not impact the valleys in the interior. So look at the spread from here to here. We're seeing 30s in parts of Cattaraugus County, 32 at Franklinville, 52 at Dunkirk. The warm front's past us. The cold front comes through around 1 in the morning. And at that time, this rain, and you'll see it in our hour-by-hour forecast, will be cutting off way before anybody has to get up. Look at this time, 10 o'clock. That's when the peak activity will be here, maybe a rumble of thunder. We dry out after 1 in the morning. It gets just chilly enough so that by late tomorrow, some lake effect flurries could set up around the metro area. And then tomorrow night, maybe just enough for an inch or two on the hills, say Springville, North Collins, and that winds down Wednesday morning. For tonight, after the front goes by, we don't really get cold. 37 the low, the normal low is 22. But it'll feel chilly with those winds. Dry for the morning, maybe a little sun, some flurries later in the day. The high is in the morning at 37. There will be a wind chill tomorrow night. Temperatures drop to the upper 20s, an inch or two on the hills, low 20s on the hills. And then we settle down on Wednesday, less wind chill, 35. And we are concerned about lake effect snow starting up later Thursday into Friday over the hills mostly, and maybe some slick spots on New Year's Eve. I'll have more on that at 11. When we come back, Joe has